Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And seeing as this is 3MB, we're proudly sponsored by VMB Auto Centres at Handsworth. They're still offering that amazing deal of 50% off your MOT when you let them know that you're a Rambler. Call them now on 0114 322 4446. Thank you to VMB Auto Centres for their continued support of the Ramble.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades, and welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this, well, it would normally be 3MB, but we are without our third main man. It has to be said, he doesn't like, there's some stick being given previously for calling him the third wheel. I don't condone it from Man Mountain, but it's one of them things. So, Dave the Nose is unavailable for this evening's recording, and it is a recording because I'm hopefully going to be on a beach somewhere as and when you see this. But we're going to try something different, myself and the Man Mountain, today, because something that people have talked about us doing for a little while now, and we've not actually got round to doing it previously. We're going to have a go at it this time. We're going to have a go, and we're going to try out a championship prediction stream. So this is two Mardy Blades, and this is me against the Man Mountain doing our championship predictions. And I want you to get in the comments who you think wins as it's going along, if you like, whether you think it's a ridiculous call that, he has Wednesday in playoffs or whatever it might be that it turns out to be. And at the end of it, who wins? What are your predictions as well? Let us know. But without any further ado, let's bring him in. It's Paul, the Man Mountain.
This is the view from the mountain with a heart so pure it's astounding. Man Mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view.
What a man, what a view. Paul, Man Mountain, how's it going, pal?
Oh yes, I am. I'm buzzing for this, Jim. Intrigued to see where we are and what we've got, and see who agrees with who. I know that. Shall I tell you? I'm going to let you in behind the curtain, people. Right. So in the build up to this,
this was very fair.
It's well known to Andy the Blade, to myself, and a few other people.
Oh, I'm not having this.
Who have half a sniff of what they're on about. I says to him, he says, "So send your list through and I'll put it on the little graphic so it looks all cool and sexy." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, then I will do." I said, "I'll do that when you sent me yours." And he's like, "What?" I said, Yeah. When you send me through yours, I'll send mine in within 10 seconds because I know if I send you mine now, you're going to steal half the ideas." But actually, to Jimmy's credit, it's a very credible list he's produced. So we'll see.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And actually, that's outlandish what you've actually said there. Because
100% true as well.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Firstly, nobody has said that you or me dad has half a sniff of knowing what's going on about anything to do with football. Just because he accuses me of nicking all his ideas, I'm not going to take that sort of stuff from you either. So yeah, that's fair enough. So what I first want to do, talking about it looking cool and sexy, I don't think I used that word, but since you have, I can get away with it. Look at this. Look at this. This is our championship tables ready to go. I reckon we just dive in, mate. What are you saying?
Yeah, and again, a little caveat.
Oh, how many caveats do you want, like?
Well, there's one caveat, and that is that if your team isn't where they should be, I'm sorry in advance. I've literally put this together in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you have, to be fair.
With such a consideration, not really, because as we know from the Championship, there's always one. There's a Luton, there's an Ipswich, there's a Bristol. No one knows what's going to happen in this league, and that's probably what makes it interesting, to be fair.
I've just zoomed across the Patreon tag, just so people remember if they want to join us, they're more than welcome on Patreon. But it was blocking your number 24. So who have we got at number 24, mate? Should we get to it straight away?
I'd keep the Patreon tag there. It's far more credible than this Junglers Comedy Club.
Than this shower. It is. We both got Sheffield Wednesday, bottom of the league. Oh, mate, it's a tragedy to have to put them there. What are we saying, mate? What are we saying about Sheffield Wednesday?
I don't know. I mean, we had. I've spoken to people who I know are Wednesday fans, my cousin in particular, and he's just resigned already. He's already chucked the towel in before the first bell rings because the state of it at the minute is, some would say, laughable, obviously, because of the stick that have been exchanged between the two clubs over the years. But honestly, without any bias, if someone said to me they're not going to get relegated this season, I would question their credentials as someone talking about football, because I don't think even Wednesdayites believe that they've got a sniff. We don't know what sort of punishment they're going to get. My instinct tells me they'll probably throw the book at him, and
you think? And
that's before they've lost. They're going to lose most of their best players. They struggled last year. They almost overachieved under Danny Roll last season. Well, they did overachieve.
Yeah, they did massively. Yeah.
And the squad, the wage bill, what they're going to have to play with, it would be some kind of a miracle if they didn't get relegated, in my opinion. And I think they're going to be bottom of the table.
So they have, as we record, and it's a little. I'm about to go away on holiday as we record, so we may be slightly behind where the news is. But Danny Roll is still Sheffield Wednesday manager at the moment, but in discussions for his departure by the sound of it. He had returned to training. He's now again in discussions. I think you could be right in terms of throwing the book at him, because Chansiri looks like he's digging his heels in. The takeover attempts that was sort of a glimmer of hope for Wednesdayites looks like he's stalled it again. So I think because it's going to be him in charge, there's more of a chance to throw the book at Sheffield Wednesday. I think if there had been new ownership, there might have been some leniency seen in terms of what they'd certainly have had a significant punishment, because they deserve it as a club overall, and that's what the new owners would be buying into. But I don't think it would have been quite as harsh. Now that Chansiri is going to be there, and it is him that steered the ship into this absolute disaster, then I'm with you. I think they will get a significant punishment, significant points, possibly fines. They're already under an embargo. I think they've cleared a couple of the embargo issues, but they've still got one outstanding. So they're in a mess, an absolute mess. And as we record, they've signed nobody, not even on loan. And they have Gassama's gone, Ihekwe's gone to Blackpool, Malik Wilkes has gone to Pendikspor. Pendik. Paul Valentin has gone to Preston, and Musaba has gone to Samsonspor. Let's just move on from that. So they're in the mud, aren't they? They are in the mud, and they will be relegated bottom of this league, and that is how we both feel about it, isn't it, mate? So
yeah, I'm afraid so. It's not going to be a competition this season with them, unfortunately.
No, but do tune in to my monthly show on Behind the Ramble that'll be happening with the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. That should be a really entertaining watch throughout the season, so we shall see. Yeah. So, in the number 23 spot, mate, we have got, drumroll, both gone for Charlton. Charlton Athletic, mate, what are you saying?
I feel like, well, it's always hard in it for teams coming up. Not so much, it's not the same as going from the Champ to the Prem. I think Charlton are set to operate under quite a low budget. We know they're decent at the Valley and have always had a decent record. It looks to me and feels to me like the league stepped up another level this year from last year. I think it's as the Premier League improves, I believe that the Championship does too. And it's just going to be hard work. I see that they've basically been around supermarket sweep in Luton. And,
yeah, they have. Yeah, they have.
And tried to poach half their team. I think Amari Bell's a decent signing at this level.
Kaminsky,
is solid.
Good keeper.
So I think they've got the foundations for a chance to survive. They've got our namesake, haven't they, up top as well? Or they've got Tyrese Campbell, haven't they?
Oh, Tyrese Campbell, yeah, they have, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Charlton are an historic club. Might be able to get a couple more names in before the end of the transfer window, that and might change the outlook for them. But it's one of those that could easily go wrong. I don't think Wednesday's going to go wrong, but I think that this one has a potential to go wrong.
Yeah, I think Nathan Jones a bit of an X factor as manager, bit of a Marmite character. In all honesty, he's a bit much for me. I'm not sure I'd be delighted with him showboating to camera all the time, and I am the most enthusiastic manager of all time, and I love my club more than any other manager does. But he does okay at the level, certainly has done previously. Done well with Charlton. They've, as well as raiding Luton, they've got 3 Luton players. They've got Reece Burke as well as the 2 we mentioned. They've also nicked a couple from Blackpool, who went well under Steve Bruce last season and are expected to do well again. So they are strengthening. But it's a little bit like the Premier League argument, and I'm not saying the gap is anywhere near as big, because it's not from League One to Championship as Championship to Prem. But who are they going to finish above? If you look at who they're bringing in and the level of player, yes, they're bringing in some decent players for Championship level, but they still got relegated with Luton, who had a much stronger squad overall, I would say, than Charlton have. So from the little that I know about Charlton, I'll be honest. So I'm not quite convinced by Charlton, only because I think there's stronger teams in the division than them. It's not that they're not having a go, and fair play to them for doing that. Oxford, Portsmouth both stayed up last season. I think, that there are precedents set for teams coming up from the division below and having a real good go at it. And they're certainly doing that, but I don't fancy Charlton to stop up, in all honesty. Number 22 in our league this is where we differ for the first time. I've gone for Preston North End, and you've gone for Oxford United. I'll tell you a little bit about Preston. I'm just not convinced by... not we love Eki. Eki did a great job for Sheffield United. I just think the teams are getting stronger. What I will say about Preston is they have been very active in the window so far. Let's have a look at who they've got. They've got in a Brighton youngster at right back for about £1.5 million. A Fire. Don't know if he's related to the rugby star Martin A Fire, but it's a class name.
Or his cousin Chariotsov.
Chariotsov, yeah. Or Ring of his uncle. So, or it'd just be Ring, wouldn't it? It'd be Ring. I've ruined that, and you ruined Chariotsov.
No, I said Chariotsov. Chariotsa. It's one word.
Yeah, so his uncle Ring and his cousin Chariot, they've had an unknown career in parts elsewhere, but Odeluga A Fire.
Parts elsewhere, very specific. It's like,
well, I can't remember.
WWE, where's the Undertaker?
Parts unknown from Parts Unknown.
The Undertaker, born in Parts Unknown.
From Death Valley. Right. Anyway, Thierry Small, decent signing. From Charlton, that they've nabbed him as Charlton have come up. He's on a free transfer. Daniel Everson, keeper from Leicester, not a bad shout. But again, I don't know whether the signing of the season so far, Dan Jebison on loan from Bournemouth. So they are making some signings. I like the right back signing, Chariot's nephew. Brighton always produce decent players, and by all accounts, he's done really well. So I like him. In terms of the sense of the signing, I haven't seen him play, so I can't like him that much. What are you saying about Oxford, pal?
I always think when you come up and when you stay up, as Oxford have, I always think that if there are a couple of gems in there, I know they've got the centre half that you and your dad
love it.
I think aren't you his agent or something?
Yeah, but, well, I wish we were, because. Yeah, we'd have been at Sheffield United by now, but nobody listened, did they?
No, well, again, Jim, I think you might be wrong. So
we'll see. We'll see. It's now in stone.
He scores the odd header. Deary me, that's it. Anyway,
but he also keeps them out.
I do worry about Oxford, because I think some of their stalwarts might still go. Is my feeling, and. Yeah, not notorious spenders. Doesn't look like they've signed anybody. They've signed they've signed Spencer from Huddersfield and the Keir Smacker from Hercules Almelo. So he could be somewhat biblical. Yeah. But other than that, I've no idea.
I know him well. He's a good player, defensive midfielder. Yeah, I like him.
That's good then. It says DM on yours, does it? That's great.
It says... what does it say? Yeah, no, it actually says defensive midfield. But is he Belgian? I remember seeing him play. Yeah, I think he's 25.
25 years old. Yeah, well,
yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
But no, it's I think Oxford are set to struggle a little bit, and again, these ones at the bottom, there's probably 4 or 5 clubs that you could probably sling in the contest.
Disservice. I think you're doing them a disservice. I think it's a sweeping statement from a second season championship team, and I like Messino at Portsmouth. I like.
Yeah, I like him there as well.
I like Gary Rowett. I can cut this out. It's recorded. I like Gary Rowett. I think he's a really good manager, and I don't think they will struggle. And I think they'll potentially kick on as well from where I can't remember where they finished last season. I think I've got them to finish in a similar area. I didn't look at where the teams finished last season, to be fair, but I think they've got a decent foundation now with Hellick at the back, Cam Brannigan in the middle. They just need somebody to stick the ball in the back of the net, but I think they've got a decent. I really like the goalkeeper as well, which we've talked about previously. So I've got Oxford a little bit higher up than you, but we'll see. We'll see where we come to.
Brannigan goes, it all goes wrong. That's what I think.
It all goes wrong.
I think it does. Yeah.
Possibly. 21st, we've both gone for Hull. Why are we going for Hull, pal?
Just because I think that they're. Once again, the popularity or the fame of chairman still annoys me a little bit, but their chairman is definitely set to ruin anything good that they've got going. So even when they've got people like, Sayers in, or they just chuck managers out the door and
they press the self-destruct button, don't they? A lot as a club.
Yeah, they've obviously they're doing quite a bit of business, but it's just a little bit unstable for me, that club. I don't know why. I think they were a little bit unlucky with some of the loans that they took last year that got injured, and some players that they didn't have. We could be wrong with this one. Hull could be a lot better, but I just feel like they're going to scrape and stay alive for me.
Well, the thing with Hull is there's significant financial difficulties at Hull at the moment. He seems a little bit dodged to me, does this owner, and they're also under an embargo from what I understand, and there's few other things that are going on in the background at Hull. And there could be a points deduction in their future if things don't get ironed out. And they certainly look like they could get robbed of a few of their main players. We've sort of spoken on our channel about Alzati and Charlie Hughes, who we might like to have a little bit of a look at. We've obviously got Sayers in charge, ex-Hull boss, who will know all about that squad. So we are, if he wants to, we are in a position to cherry-pick that club. John Egan's been rumoured to go to Stoke and other teams like this. So they could get picked off quite easily because of their financial troubles, and that even if they don't have a points deduction, they could be in banging trouble because of that. So, who have we got in 20th? I've got Wrexham. And I say it with a smile because I'd like to have them a couple of places lower if I'm honest. But I know you think they're going to do considerably better than I do. But Wrexham, absolutely. Well, I don't want to go in too hard on them, but garbage football club, absolutely garbage. Honestly, this fairy tale rubbish where you pump in millions and millions and millions of pounds, and people, oh yeah, but they've done it the right way. How have they done it the right way? They have used their own companies to. It's like the whole Man City thing when they sponsor their own stadium, then you can put £400 million into the team. It's a way of getting around the rules. And I know some people think that's fair because it's just a luck of the draw thing by which owners you get. And I suppose that's a part of it. But I just don't like the whole buying promotions like sentiment. And I will be delighted if they don't get over halfway this season. Absolutely over the moon, because can you imagine that it's going to be the new Leeds where everybody, Wrexham are so ace. Everyone loves Wrexham. They deserve to be a Premier League club because of their fairy tale journey. Ugh, ridiculous. They've signed Ryan Hardy. Good signing that from Plymouth. Really like him as a player. They've nabbed him, to be fair. I think he must have had a release clause because it's less than £1 million that they've paid. And I think he's decent. I think we could have maybe had him as a...
We nabbed Cooper, mate. We nabbed Cooper. And this is the story. This is the story of football, mate. It always has been. It's always been.
I don't know. I'm sort of giving him kudos for nabbing Ryan Hardy. Don't mind that at all. It's a good deal for him. They've not overpaid. Plymouth will be gutted that they've lost him for such a low fee. They've signed Danny Ward from Leicester, who I don't rate, and Sam Dolby, who I don't know much about, who was a centre forward from Dundee. They've let a lot of their heroes go, if you like. Paul Mullin's gone on loan to Wigan. Brad Foster's gone out. Oh, it's just there's a few gone in and out. Just I just don't like them, mate. I don't like them.
I know you don't, but it doesn't mean they're going to finish fifth bottom.
Well, they've got to finish above other teams as well. They've got to. You look at their current squad, and it's all right to go in from National League to League Two, which there's very little difference. I think it's recognised in the standard of the league, particularly top end National League, bottom end League Two. They've gone up there and they've got promoted. Great, and then they've done a really good job because they've chucked millions and millions of pounds at it. Just a few million short of Birmingham, who also bought promotion, by the way. Then up into League One, and they got promoted out of there. Well done, congratulations! You've bought the best players on the biggest money, and you've got promoted.
Jim, people be saying that about Sheffield United. People be saying if not for the parachutes, you'd be nowhere near it.
We earned our parachute payments by getting promotion to the Premier League and coming back down again. And we earned it on the field. We didn't get chuffing Tom Cruise to come in and buy us and inject 500 million quid. It does my head in. Does my head in. So, yeah, I'm not on the fence with this one, mate. Wrexham, I hope I'm wrong by 2 spots. I hope I'm wrong by 4 spots. Not 5, but I hope I'm wrong by 4 spots. Or 3 spots. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
I'll have them 23rd. Anyway, so that's my head rule in my heart, where I've got them as 23rd in my heart. So, QPR for you, mate. QPR.
Yeah, I think they've struggled for a while, QPR, and I don't know. I think that's about right for them when I look around the division. They've signed a couple of good signings. They've had Poku, haven't they, off?
I think he's a good signing.
He was a good signing. I think again, he's come from League One, looks decent at League One, still finished 20th or something in League One, didn't they? So I don't think he's enough to propel them up the division, I would say. But
got rid of your pal, haven't they?
My pal?
Yeah, they got rid of our pal.
Who's my pal? Who they got rid of?
Got rid of him. Our pal. Kenneth Pal. Kenneth Pal, left back's gone. It's been released.
Ken's pal. Yeah, I know.
Ken's pal. Ken's pal.
Got rid of pal. Yeah, so he's got a friend in me, but
it's tricky, isn't it? Because the players that they're signing, I haven't seen an awful lot of other than Poku, so I can't make huge claims as to why I've got them much higher than you. But I think Poku in itself is a bit of a statement signing in terms of who they've beaten to get him. So are they selling a dream to players at the moment in terms of this is our project, we're trying to push towards the playoffs this year, we're going to have a real go at it. So
lost the manager as well. Be intriguing, wasn't it? That I don't know.
That's been on cards for a while, though, hasn't it? He's obviously gone to Leicester now and paid for the compensation for himself to be released, which is desperado, but
Marty,
fair enough.
How much do you want to leave? To the tune of $250,000. All right then, see you in a bit.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So,
to be fair, Cifuentes did a good job with them, but they've recruited foreign again, so it's a little bit of an unknown quantity, isn't it? They may well have another Cifuentes on the cards and do well. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Up in 19th, mate. Up the high heights of 19th. I've gone for Blackburn. I think they are destined to trickle down the leagues, unfortunately. Not down the leagues, but down the league table. Eustace left, and I think they struggled after Eustace left. Very good manager. And they are losing players and rumoured to be losing more players. Callum Britton apparently refused to play for him in a recent friendly against Accrington Stanley because he's on the cards to be moving to... Yeah, exactly. He's on the cards to be moving to Borough. Potentially, they're heavily interested, so he's sort of refusing to play, which is always a big no-no, isn't it? But Tyrese Dolan's left. A lot of people think United should be in for him and having a little bit of a sniff around him. I think he's a little bit inconsistent myself, but a good player. They've lost Vyman and Danny Batt, who played a lot of games. Well, certainly Danny Batt played a lot of games from last season at centre-half. He's gone to Derby with Eustace. Andy Vyman's left them and gone to Derby with Eustace. Over signed nobody that we'd know, really. A couple of from KV Courtnidge. It sounds like Sheffield United signings, these, to be honest. Moriense. Nah.
Moriense? Oh,
yeah, decent signing. Decent signing. So they're losing some players. Joe Rankin Costello's gone to Charlton, who I thought were a fairly decent Championship player. They're losing men, and their manager's unproven. Ishmael's all right, picked up a little bit towards the end of the season, but I'm not convinced by him overall.
A lot.
All right, calm down.
A lot.
Just say you love him. That's fine. So,
a lot.
19th place for me, Blackburn Rovers.
Okay.
You've gone for the Potters at number 19, mate.
Yeah, Brian and his mates. It's
nice.
Yeah. So Aaron Cresswell's a good signing for them. Replaced one player slightly over the hill in Ender Stevens with another one slightly over the hill. But
Ender's gone, hasn't he? I didn't notice that. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is a shame, which makes me like him even less because they didn't give him a new deal. But
balls to Stoke.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just don't see where their improvement comes from this season. I don't.
Tell you was a good signing, Divin Mubama from
it's easy
City.
for you to say that, mate.
Divin Mubama. United were linked with him last summer, I think it might have been, on loan. Were he at West Ham? I think he's been somewhere else. He's certainly at City now, and they've loaned him out. And I think he has got because we had a little look at him at that time. Absolutely rattles them off for 21s. But he's one of those that's going to go one way or other. So I think he could be a decent signing for him. Who else have they got? Sorba Thomas, neither in or there really, from Huddersfield. Aaron Cresswell. Oh, like you said, he's probably an upgrade if we're being honest on Ender, but he's also a year on Ender as well. So we'll wait and see. He's probably more of a centre half than a left back these days. Depends what way they want to set up. But
I think Sorba Thomas is decent. I think he.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think he's a match winner at this level.
Okay, but I'd say something else you're discounting a little bit, the Mark Robbins factor, surely. Surely he plays a part in pulling him up the league a little bit.
Yeah. Again, I think they're organised. I don't think they're anywhere near relegation. It's just where I've put them, mate. It's just
okay, buddy. Okay. Well, there's plenty of teams to go at, isn't there? So, 18th, I've gone for Pompey. As I said earlier, it might have sounded irrelevant at the time, but I was just planting a seed. I like John Mousinho at Portsmouth. I think he's a solid manager and will continue to build on their finish from last year. I'm not saying they'll pull up any trees in the division, but I think he'll have them as a solid enough outfit. They've just signed John Swift, who I think is a decent signing for them. He will play a lot of games for them. He's been a rotation option at West Brom, but I think he will be given much more of the work to do in that Portsmouth midfield. I think it's a decent signing, to be fair. They've not really lost anybody of note. So I fancy him to have a similar season to last time, where might flirt with the relegation places a little bit, but I don't have him in any real danger of being worse than certainly Wrexham. So, so what are you saying, Preston in 18th, mate?
Mate, we've spoke about some of the players they've got in. Chariots is a good player, and then you've got
Ring off.
That's his uncle.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, and Hecky's a good manager at the level, and I don't mind Preston as a club. I think they're a stalwart team. I think that they're going to struggle, I think, but they'll be up towards nearer the middle than what you've done them dirty. So it's fine.
We'll see. With big Dan Jebison up front, I suppose all it's possible, isn't it?
Right. DJ.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
17th, I've gone for Oxford. I think you've done them dirty here. I'm going to have another look at them and see what they've got. We talked about it on Wiki. Smacker, who we really like as a player, and Brodie Spencer from Huddersfield, who's said to be half decent. Don't know. I think Gary Rowett, similar to Portsmouth, really. I think they're not too dissimilar as clubs in terms of they've both got very good managers in. Probably, in Mousinho's case, got a bit of a higher ceiling. Gary Rowett's a bit more wily, been around the block a little bit. But I think overall, they know how to get their team solid, difficult to beat, a little bit compact. They will get the odd, probably 3-0 at some stage during the season, but they'll always have a go back at you. So I don't mind Oxford as a club, and I think they'll do all right this season. Lower mid-table for me. Why are you going 17th with Portsmouth, pal?
I just think they've got a little bit more than the teams below him. I think they're finding their feet a bit more. Home form helps them out massively. Tough place for people to go a long way as well. So I think they get a few. They get a bit with that. Murphy's a good player for them. And the centre forward, who had a dream that he'd joined us the other day.
Martin Luther King.
Mate, if anyone but dads watching this are just going to be mortified, climbing behind the settee at some of this.
Oh, mate, I'll be on holiday when this goes out, so I won't mind.
Just turn the notifications off, mate.
Somebody had a dream about joining us.
Who's the forward that they've got?
Oh, what's his name? Colby Bishop.
Colby, yeah. Someone in our group said, "Oh, I had a dream that Colby Bishop had signed for us," and I went, "Sounds like
that." Well, that's enough for a 10-minute transfer. So let's get that sorted out.
Somebody whispers into Jim's direction.
Colby Bishop.
Right.
Let's check the source. Let's check the source. We need to check that source. Yeah. Right, okay, mate. So we've got 17th hammered out. That's good. 16th position. I might have gone a little bit harsh here. And remember, these are early predictions, very early predictions. So I'll let you go with yours first, mate. I'll let you go with yours.
Okay, let me just look who it is.
You got Derby, mate. You got Derby.
I can't see it. I can't see it from where to me, you're just like a speck in the distance that's getting close. No, it's so Derby. Well, Derby, I think, are signing well. I mean, it looks like it looked more like Cocoon, their squad picture.
I wish your table prediction had reflected that if they're signing well.
Yeah, because before they made these signings, I had that right down in the thick of the.
Okay, even with John Eustace.
Mate, you can only play with what you've got, and they haven't got.
And now he's got decent.
No, he's got a few decent. That's what I was about to say. So I think Vyman scores goals at level. I think Bat's steady hand as long as his legs don't give up on him. I think Morris is the best one.
Carlton Morris.
I think him and Jerry Yates score enough goals to see him where they are at where they are in my table anyway.
Yeah.
I think they could go a bit better. They've signed a lot of experienced players. Obviously, they struggled last season, but I think that there's improvement in Derby this season, and where they are does represent a bit of improvement.
Yeah, I think that's fair, mate. I think that's fair. I've got them slightly higher because I am very impressed with the activity that they've had. One thing I will say is that they've signed a goalkeeper, Richard O'Donnell, who's a backup. They've signed Danny Batt, who may well start for him because he was starting for Blackburn, and would he come to Derby to sit on bench? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think he would. So it's likely that he plays, and he's 34 now. But the other three signings are very attacking. So they've got Andries Vyman that we've talked about, Andy Vyman, who we know all about as Blades. Yeah. They've signed Carlton Morris, which is a great signing, and somebody that's quite unknown in our parts, but Patrick Agyman, a 24-year-old American international, who's cost them £6 million, in and around £6 million. So, and they've signed him from Charlotte FC because I remember Dean Smith is the manager there, and I remember seeing something about it that he was desperate to keep him, and he's like, his head's been turned. It's the money in England and stuff like that, but desperate to keep him in the MLS. But he just wanted to go to England to better his career. So maybe that's a little shrewd one, a bit like the Daryl DK deal that West Brom did and stuff like that. Obviously, he's had a lot of injury problems and stuff, but looked a real player when he first came over. So, yes,
you never know, do you? You never.
No,
know.
You don't, mate.
Like you say, could be everything that the price tag suggests. Might not cut it. Might not cut it. Austin Trusty Stiley.
I've gone for Millwall in 16th, and I do feel harsh. They've brought in Josh Coburn permanently now from Borough, paid a pretty penny for him as well. I think it were about £5.5 million they paid. It's got it down here as €6.4 million because I'm on Transfer Market, but rest of them, I'm not. Max Crocom's an okay goalkeeper as a backup from Burton. Did well for them. I think he's a decent backup goalkeeper. But other than that, it's not really jumping off the page at me as being super impressive in terms of their signings so far. They've lost a few players. George Saville's gone out on a free transfer to Luton, who yeah, he's probably going down in his career now at 32, but he has been a significant player in their side. George Honeyman's come out of the team now and left and signed for Blackpool. They are going down in the leagues, but these players were past their peak, but they played significant game time for Millwall. So they've got a bit of a... It's not too dissimilar, like a smaller version of what we had to do as a club at the beginning of last season. So they have got to piece together a team now. And Alex Neil's a good manager. He could do that. But they've already spent a huge chunk of change on one player. So we'll have to wait and see how they go. At time of recording, I'm not overly impressed by the business yet. But that could all change. I just think, looking at the teams above them that obviously we'll come to, I'm not sure they have done enough to finish above them at this stage. But Millwall always tend to go well. So maybe I've done them a huge disservice there. We'll wait and see. So in 15th, mate, we've got Bristol City. Why have we both got Bristol City?
Great minds think alike, Jim. I think that
Nice.
they're going to struggle to maintain what they were doing at the back end of last season. Obviously, the manager's moved on. There's a bit of a ceiling as to where they can go, I think, in this division, and it'll be a tough job for a manager to get anywhere near what happened last year. Obviously, I think that they're not going to be quite the surprise package that they were in the first, or certainly last season.
Yeah.
Few acquisitions, Reece from Preston, who can grab goals at the level. Not going to set the world alight. It's about it. Where they are now is about his level, I would say.
Yeah,
Got Joanne Lumley in from Southampton. She's always good for a...
Oh, absolutely fabulous, mate.
Yeah,
Absolutely fabulous.
She sure is. She sure is. So yeah, she's going to be good. And then, but yeah, it's
She's an awful goalkeeper, by the way.
really
Awful. Yeah, don't rate her at all.
okay.
Don't rate Joanna or Joe. I think they're both pretty poor.
Okay.
So, yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. What I will say is I think Struber's a decent manager. It's a bit of a poison chalice, though, isn't it? They definitely overachieved last year and rode the crest of a wave, really, and got there on merit, undoubtedly. No, nobody's sort of dismissing their achievement at all, but Liam Manning has absolutely left at the peak that they were going to achieve. Clever move from him in a lot of ways, and I think they will sort of revert to type a little bit. Maybe 15th's a little bit harsh considering how high they finished last season in 6th, but time will tell, mate. As I say, it's always a shot in the dark with a little bit at this stage of the season, but that's our honest opinion on where they're going to finish. Up in 14th, then. See, this is where I've put QPR. I think we're underselling them a little bit, and I know we've spoken about it, so I won't go on about it too much, but Poku's a really smart bit of business on a free. Obviously, it'll cost a decent amount with the overall package. They'll have had to chuck some brasses way to get him through the door. But why would he choose QPR over other clubs that were interested? It were rumoured that Sheffield United were having a little sniff, but I don't think we will have been looking at some of the stuff that we're doing in the transfer market at the minute. But he certainly could have gone to other clubs. Birmingham were heavily rumoured to be signing him at one stage. Rangers were in the race. So they've done something, QPR, to turn his head. Whether it's location, maybe, because that plays a big part sometimes with these London clubs, or whether it's a vision that they're selling as a club. So I don't know much about the rest of the team, the players that they've brought in so far, but I've just got a little feeling that QPR might be going for it a little bit more this year than they have done previously. And you've gone for Blackburn, pal?
Yeah, obviously, big club. Had a really good run towards the end of the season, like the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was getting a lot out of what he had at the end of last season.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
And I think they're great away support. You got to say that. I didn't mind waving them off back to Blackburn
and dancing. I saw you.
Because they nearly got in the playoffs, didn't they? And they were at one point they were in the playoffs that afternoon.
Yeah, they were.
But no, it was. But I think they're a bit better than what you've done and dirty down there. But obviously, we will see, won't we? I don't think they've lost too much in terms of a couple of players, but not players that are going to make a massive dent in the season for me. And they've still got potential to go and do business as well.
Okay, that's fair enough. 13th. I've gone for Stoke. I think, again, we've talked about them, and it'll get a bit like this. I think we've already covered some of the clubs, so I'm not going to spend too long on them, but I think Mark Robbins in charge is a bit of an X factor. I do really like him at the level. I'm also conscious that his assistant Adi Vivish is not with him, and that was sort of seen by a lot of Cov fans as the turning point when their form started to go downhill, when he had the fallout with the assistant manager, who's now gone to Middlesbrough with Rob Edwards. So that might be one to watch. But again, just as a reminder, Stoke, what have they done? They've brought in Aaron Cresswell for Ender Stevens. We talked about Sorba Thomas coming in. Divin Mubama, who I like, and I think we should keep an eye on. They're a little bit like a Millwall for me. It was a bit of an anomaly last season, easy for me to say, that they were struggling down in flirting with relegation. But I think they'll be solidly in mid-table again this season, and won't really trouble the playoffs too much, I don't think. But I don't expect them to be down at relegation spots either. You have gone for Disney FC, mate. What's the crack?
Yeah, I think they've still got money to throw at things. I still see them getting a couple of. They're probably going to end up with a couple more Premier League players after the last payday on the way out. So I think that'll happen. They signed Hardy up front. He'll go up there with Laurel, see if they can do something for him. But it's nice.
But
I know, sorry guys, mate. This is dad.
So my dad jokes are bad, but then you've got a Laurel and Hardy one chucked in there.
Mate, well, there you go. That's a granddad joke now, isn't it? That one. But anyway, yeah, Laurel.
Always a good pair.
Yeah, good lads. And,
oh right. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mon chapeau.
They're gonna be top of the bottom. I'd say top of the bottom.
Okay, yeah. I just think they're bottom. Right, in 12th, I've gone for Derby. I've given them the respect they deserve with John Eustace in charge. Some of the signings that they've made, really like them. Not got them down in the lowly 16th. They're up in the heady heights of 12th. I think it's going to be more of a consolidation season for them. I don't think they're going to quite trouble the playoffs. But with some of the signings that we've already talked about, I really do fancy them to have a decent season this season as opposed to flirting with relegation. So, Norwich in 12th, mate, with the new manager.
Yeah, I think Manning's decent. They might end up flirting with the bottom of the playoffs, and they, they're a side that could. I think it's always hard when Borja Sainz is obviously gone. He's gone to Spain, hasn't he?
Yeah. Borja Sainz has gone. It looks like Josh Sargent's going to Burnley or somebody. It might be Wolfsburg as well. They're negotiating with him at the moment. So
yeah, they had the other lad, didn't they? The England lad. He's gone. He was on. I can't remember his name now. Rowe.
Jonathan Rowe.
He's gone off to Marseille, and so that they've accrued some good money. Obviously,
they have.
They will do if Sargent goes. It's circa 20 mil apparently. So that's. I mean, you're ripping the ability out of the team there completely. Yeah. And he's obviously gone there for a reason, man. He's probably been promised some wedge to throw. So again, I think they're hard to predict at the minute, Norwich, because if they spend the money, I know Delia would like to, get a new swimming pool or
cook up a promotion push.
Hey! Delia will be on a cruise.
Stick with us, dads. Stick with us.
Counting the Borja Sainz money. Oh yes. But no, I don't know. I think they've got a long way to go in order to replace what they've lost, because they can't sign players of that quality, and I think that means a little bit of a drop off. And I think that's where they could make a run for the playoffs, because they have made some good signings as well in Kvistgarden from Bromby, who obviously we see a lot of.
We do, yeah. Good player.
Kovacic of Sporting in.
Bless you.
In Portsmouth, and Medic from Ajax, who we know a lot about, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it's Ajax, so it is what it is. So we'll wait and see, because they might have uncovered a diamond or two, because they'll need to replace their three best players in mind.
Yeah, they will. They've
let the goalkeeper go as well, which I think is interesting.
Angus Gunn. Yeah.
See, when he played us, he was absolutely brilliant, and I'm I don't think he'd come as a number two. Otherwise,
that's who Kovacevic has come in as, isn't it? I think they've signed him for a couple of £1 million from Sporting. So
is he the goalie? Is he?
Yeah, he's the keeper. So yes, we'll wait and see, mate. Big changes at Norwich, but like you said, they've got a little bit of money behind them now, and these are early predictions. Come the end of the window, they may have dropped 20 million quid on new players. So wait and see what happens at Carrow Road.
Darling was good pick up as well.
Yes, he was, Darling. Yes. 11th in the table, I've got Watford, and you've gone for Borough. I think Watford are going under the radar a little bit. You obviously agree because you've gone slightly higher. Nathan Baxter's a decent signing on a free. I don't think he will trouble the first team. He's their backup goalkeeper. I'm just going through players I know, and that's about it. So, but they are signing big. They are rumoured to be in for this Bayern Munich playmaker on loan, and then everybody's gone crazy about actually they might end up signing him for like £2.5 million. Well, if that's the case, and he's a wonder kid, then why aren't Sheffield United in the conversation? That's what every club will be saying. Why aren't we in for this if Watford can do it? But by all accounts, some of the players that they've already brought in and some of the players that they are looking at are a level up from what they used to. So it appears to be that they are showing a remarkable amount of ambition. They sort of flip-flop, don't they, Watford? They've no loyalty towards the managers, as we all know, but there is certainly a burning desire to achieve there. They are a little bit like Hull and certainly like Sheffield Wednesday, the owners crackers in terms of what they expect from their employees and things like that. But as a club and wanting to get to the next level, Watford are the ones that are willing to spend and sort of recycle and things like that. So I think they might go okay this season. I think Cleverley was very harshly treated, if I'm honest, but I think they've probably, a little bit like Sheffield United appear to have done, think that they can get better with a different style of manager. So time will tell with Watford, but if they're willing to chuck the money at it, similar to teams like Norwich and things like that you've got there, we don't really know what's going to happen with them. Might look very different next season. It could go. They could be a playoff team. They could end up 15th. You never quite know. But I've gone for him in 11th. And what have you? How come you've gone for Borough in number 11, pal?
Well, Borough. Yeah, they're in a bit of a transition. I think they lose Doak, don't they?
Yes.
Which
goes back to Liverpool, doesn't it?
I think he was a big part of their success, frankly. So yeah, I think he's a big player for him. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. I think it's about right for Borough. Looking at the squad that they've got, to imagine that they're going to be up and around again, the edge of the playoff picture. But I think there's other sides who warrant at this point a little bit more.
I think that's fair. I always, I'm not going to focus on them too much because obviously I've got to talk about myself coming up. But I always have a bit of not a soft spot for them, but I always sort of value them as a really strong championship team. And I don't know whether that's like embedded now, that it's just a go-to for me, that it's an automatic thing that I think about when I think about Middlesbrough. I think really strong champ team, because like you look back to the Archer and the Akpom season, and they were really sort of a team that you did not want to face. I thought they were a real attacking threat. Rob Edwards going in there once, like maybe 18 months ago, seen as a really progressive upcoming manager, and then obviously had a poor season in the Premier League and got sacked and hasn't really recovered since. So he's gone in there, but with the strong assistant manager that did so well at Coventry with Robbins. So I think there's definitely a foundation there, but they've not really done much in the transfer market. They're likely to lose Hayden Hackney at some point as well, I think, who's a stalwart in their midfield. So we'll wait and see, but I've got them a little bit higher up than you because, as I say, I tend to rate them higher as always a potentially dangerous club. They're always usually in and around it, aren't they, to be fair? In 10th, mate, who have we got in 10th? I've got Norwich and you've got Millwall. So I have Millwall down in 16th. Why are you saying 10th at this stage?
Just think that Millwall are stalwart side, hard to beat. Did well last season from nowhere, really. No one expected them to do particularly pull up the trees that they did last year, and they were flirting with the playoffs, weren't they, at one point? So I think that there's still things to do with that. They've got a bit of money from Fleming, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I think that they should reinvest that money, and I think they've got enough to be in a similar position. I think they're just a tough team to beat, hard place to go, tight, and
I like Ivanovic up front as well. He's a young lad and he's still got a little bit of learning to do, but I think he'll go well this season if they keep him. And there's been a little bit of interest around him already. So if he goes, that will be for a pretty penny as well. So they'll have even more money to add to the pot to make their squad stronger overall. So yeah, Millwall haven't really spent that much yet, but I can understand why you've got them as high. They're always in and amongst it somewhere, aren't they? So, as I said, I've maybe done them a slight disservice. But I've got Norwich in 10th. Similar reasons to you, mate. I think, is it the Kvistgarden, the centre forward that they've signed? Yeah, from Bromby. And he's really highly rated. Everybody that talks about him talks him up massively. It's a bit of a coup, apparently, for Norwich. So if Sargent goes, which it's likely he does, then there's his ready-made replacement right there. And they'll have made money on that, a significant amount of money on that. They just need to replace the Borgia Science now, and they are at parity with a lot more money in their pocket. And it's easier said than done that to replace Borgia Science, but they've done it with Sargent already, apparently. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how that goes, mate, 'cause it's an unknown
Big
quantity.
shout, mate. That's a huge shout.
It is, but that's why there's a
parity. Oh,
that's why there's a disparity in the fee, though, isn't there?
there's a disparity to get parity.
Did I say parity?
Parity than disparity.
Polly, want a cracker? Right, okay, so Swansea in 9th for both of us. Both of us have got Swansea in 9th. Talk to me about the Swans, pal.
I think they're doing some good business, aren't they? As
Agreed.
I flick through and have a little look at
I'll tell you, Ethan Galbraith, Cameron Burgess, two very good signings. Centre half is Cameron Burgess from Ipswich, and Ethan Galbraith is somebody that we were linked with from Leyton Orient, did really well in League One last year. The one I'm not so sure of is Ricardo Santos at centre back for Bolton. Didn't really, we were linked with Wendy's. I think he's a League One player, if I'm honest. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know much about Bobby Wales from Kilmarnock, who's a young 20-year-old striker. But I like the moves that they're making in the transfer market. I also like the way that Sheehan had them playing end of last season. I think they are quietly improving, and they may well be a bit of a force. I mean, there's sort of murmurings that McBurney might go back there as well, isn't there? And as much as we have a pop at Ollie McBurney, at championship level, if you get him fit, he can be okay. I'm not saying he's a top-end championship striker because my father might disown me, but he is. I think he's okay. Certainly for a Swansea, I think he'd go back to being that sort of talisman up front. So
I don't think wildcard team this year. Are these the one? Are these?
I think so. I think it's ironic we've got them in the same spot, because for me, they could be this year's Bristol. They could also drop like a stone. So I just feel like they could be the surprise package this season. Yeah, I agree, and it's a case of like if Sheehan goes on to become a really good manager, or under the radar, they've appointed really well, because it looked like he'd sort of improved them significantly last season. I still think it's too early on in Sheehan's career for him to be poached from him. So he could. They've likely got Sheehan, even if he's going to be a really good manager long term. They've likely got him for the season while he continues to prove himself. So it's stuff like that I think may well see him have a good season. A little bit like Manning did last season at Bristol City. So it was his first decent season at Bristol City. He got him into the playoffs. His stock was really high, and then he's got to move probably for a lot more wedge to Norwich. So interesting. I think we've both got Swansea in 9th. I think that's it shows that we're both on a similar wavelength when it comes to them boys. In 8th, we're getting close to these playoff spots. I think West Brom are just going to miss out. West Brom, always a strong championship side. They've signed this Hegbo centre forward, another young lad. Spent a bit of money actually. Dropped 5.5 million euros on him from Bran. And Nat Phillips has come in from Liverpool for about 3 million quid. So Nat Phillips, again, another championship, bit of a journeyman at this stage. Obviously, he's finally signed away from Liverpool, having been at different clubs like Derby and all over the place. I like Hegem, who they've already got in the squad. A few Blades have talked about maybe pinching him as a left-sided centre-half. That will not happen now, obviously, but they've already got some very good players within the squad. But they have lost some players. Dean Garner's a big loss. Obviously, we've talked about John Swift leaving. He was more of a squad rotation man for him. Ajayi's gone out to Hull. So there's players that they're not... I'm not sure they're going to have quite enough to break into the top 6 this season, but I could be proven wrong. You've gone for Watford in 8th, pal?
Yeah, again, doing a lot of good business. Seem to be rumoured around a lot of big players. I think there's a bit of ambition there to make a difference this year. And again, hard team to beat. I think they've got rid of our mate, haven't they? They sent Larucci back. I think they might.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Yes,
Larucci.
Larucci. Yeah, I think he's gone back.
Yeah, he's gone, mate. He's gone back to Troyes.
They've got Marco Bolo. Mark Bowler, sorry.
Marco Bolo?
Isn't
Isn't that a game you play in swimming pool?
Did Mark Bolan, wasn't he part of a band somewhere? I don't know. Anyway, but
Marco
no, they've
Bolo.
obviously got Mama. Ooh. He's a good lad from Montpellier.
That's getting clipped. Nice. Oh, mate, we need to move on. So yeah, Watford, decent. Right, this will show you who we've both got in the playoffs and how different we are. I don't think we're too dissimilar, to be honest, from memory, but this is sealing off teams that will be either in the Championship or in Preston, Charlton Wednesday, Oxford, Charlton Wednesday's case, not next season. I've got Middlesbrough just missing out, and you've got West Brom just missing out. I talked about Middlesbrough earlier. I always have them down as a really tricky Championship side. A little bit like Millwall, but opposite way around. Maybe I've over-egged this a little bit. Maybe I'm just sort of buying into the whole players that they're rumoured with. Rob Edwards, supposed to be a great upcoming young manager, but yet to be proven. I know he got Luton promoted, but maybe I've over-egged it a touch. But I've got Borough just missing out. Maybe you could drop them a couple of places, and it might be a bit closer. But you've got West Brom, mate. West Brom up in 7th.
Yeah, they've lost a few. West Brom. Ajayi has obviously been a bit of a stalwart. Swift, who's decent at the level, a bit of a squad player. Dean Garner's without a club, according to this. And
He is.
Been I remember him being a bit of a weapon at one point as well.
I think he'll go higher than Champ.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I think he's quite a dangerous player. I don't know. He's not consistent though. I think that's his issue. Lost Mason Holgate, massive difference maker.
Yeah. I don't mind Mason Holgate.
They've lost Ted can, but they can't.
Who can?
Ted can, but they can't have him, so it's fine. They've signed that Hagibo from Bran, but
Hegbo, yeah.
Players from Bran tend to be a bit flaky, don't they? So
yeah, they do. They do. Nice. There's a reason I love doing these with you. Right, mate. First playoff team, and I think we're same in 6th. It is newly promoted.
I think this is odd, and it looks like we've got our heads together, but I think we've gone for the 6 are the same, aren't they?
Yeah, the 6s. We haven't, and this was, you made sure I sent you mine after you'd done yours.
I did the quality control and the integrity.
You did, yeah. And to be fair, you fired yours back straight away. There were no chance for you to change any of yours. So yeah, we've both gone for Birmingham, newly promoted Birmingham in 6th. They are clearly showing early ambition. They've signed a few players on free transfers. That includes Bright Asai Samuel, Damari Gray. So historically, 2 very strong wingers. I know Asai Samuel has been playing right back in certain circumstances, but could also play further forward. He did for QPR when he was last in the division. Damari Gray obviously started at Birmingham, went on to Everton. Then he's gone out to Saudi leagues for his comeback from Al Ettifaq. A couple of players from abroad in Furuhashi. It's saying he's come from Stade Rennes. He's the ex-Celtic forward, isn't he? €9 million they're quoting, so 8 million quid-ish for the ex-Celtic forward. It's a lot of money for a 30-year-old, but if he does the business, then it's money well spent, isn't it? It's a centre-forward. That's the going rate, I would say, for a decent centre-forward at the level. Fujimoto's come in from Vicente. Don't know much about him, in all honesty. So yeah, they've made some good signings. I don't mind what Birmingham are doing here, and I'm not quite thinking they will be the overwhelming force that challenges the top 2 that some are tending to think about, but I think they'll go well this season. So what's your thoughts on Birmingham, pal?
Yeah, I have to agree. You know, Tommy Doyle obviously arrives as well.
Of course, Tommy Doyle. How have I left him out of the conversation? Tommy Doyle.
I mean, Jeremy Beadle in goal.
Yeah, that gives everybody a chance, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to get his hands to it if he's Beadle's about.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Yeah, but other than that, you hate obviously Wrexham for chucking money at it, but Birmingham are Just fine.
Love Birmingham. Look,
Just
no,
fine.
I'm
Just
joking.
fine.
I don't like this either. I don't like this
30
either.
million up the wall
But
in League One. Never heard of.
No, but
Ridiculous.
you're
Record
right.
points
You're right.
totals, destroy the division. Everyone
You're-
else plays for second. That's fine. That's fine. You do that. I don't mind
Do,
Birmingham.
do you
Nothing
like
against-
Wrexham then?
No,
Do you,
no reason to dig Birmingham out. If
do you like Wrexham?
no,
Do you buy into this fairy tale of Wrexham? What a wonderful small club that they're going on an unbelievable defying the odds journey.
yeah. But the thing about me, Jim, is if I'm going to keep my credibility, I can't just go. Oh, I
Keep
don't
you
like-
what?
well, yeah, I can't just go. Oh yeah, I don't like him. 20th. It's not.
I didn't say don't like them 20th.
You kind of did. a
Well, I
bit.
did, yeah, but that's because I genuinely think they won't do anywhere near as well as a lot of people are saying. Because I think the step up will be too much
in
for
the
them.
middle, and I think their budget will tell you that that's where they're going to end up.
Okay, we'll see. With Phil Parkinson in charge, we'll see. Okay, so that's Wrexham done when we were talking about Birmingham. But yeah, I think we're both on a similar wavelength with Birmingham.
Yes,
To be
we
fair,
are, yeah.
Fifth in the table, I've gone for Cov, and you've gone for Leicester.
Yeah.
I've gone for Cov. I think the remaining top four are obvious for me now, being the relegated three and a certain team from Sheffield. And so last season, it was notable that the four teams at the top of the league, particularly the three teams at the top of the league, but the four teams were the strongest by a distance. And I think it might be a similar case this year. I think the league is stronger. I don't think there'll be anywhere near the same amount of gap between the top four. But I think I'm not too overly concerned. Look, Coventry could break into it, and you obviously got Coventry somewhere in yours in the top four. So Frank Lampard did a really good job with Coventry last season when he came in, galvanised them. They've got some really good players. We can't discount Coventry as being a really strong side at Championship level. I just don't know whether, and I include a points deduction in this, whether Leicester will have too much to finish slightly above them. I don't think there's much in it. I think if you do consider a points deduction, which might be why you've got Leicester in fifth, then maybe that's the edge that takes them down a spot, and Coventry maybe squeaking above them. But you will let me know, mate, why you're going for Leicester in fifth.
Yeah, a lot of the things you just said. So the points deduction is obviously going to be a factor. There will be one. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there'll be a. I'm sure.
Yeah, but it could be a 2 or a 4, couldn't it? Which
I don't. From reading it, it feels like it's going to be a little bit more than that. And
okay.
on top of that, we did a little feature on the budgets for Premier League, and again, as Ben Bloom pointed out to me, it was a little bit more. We're sort of working on stuff that we don't know about until it's ratified down the line in the future. But Leicester, by all purposes, had a really big budget for a team that finished in the bottom three last season. I think the problem with that, and I think it's the problem that some clubs like them are going to face, and like Manchester United are going to face, is that they've got a lot of players on a lot of money. And it's going to be very difficult to shift out some of that deadwood because no one's going to take them off their hands. And the players that they've got will be paid the highest paid team in the league by a long way, in my opinion. They'll have the biggest wage bill by a lot, and they won't be able to shift out a lot of the deadwood that they've got in that squad to go and improve the team. And with the players that are leaving, Vardy's certainly a weapon that they could have done with.
He's a weapon.
There's quite a few who I think the legs are gone a little bit, and I think they're going to lose one or two of their better players in a bid to try and balance books, because it's not going to be a case of they're not going to be splurging this summer. They're going to be cutting back, and there's a few players in there that I think teams will come and poach as well and pay good money for. But they've got the likes of Connor Cody, haven't they, and people like that who'll be on fat wedge. And I don't think we'll
good at the level, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would,
like
but that's why I've got them in fifth position and with a points deduction. So I still think they're going to be decent. I'm not saying they're for the can or anything, but they are. I think they're going to go through a difficult season where they're going to be playing. They're going to have quite a few players that they wish that they didn't have. And Cifuentes has got a big job on his hands, in my opinion.
Interesting, mate. Interesting. You make some really good points there, to be fair. And to be honest, just from memory, we have flipped it, haven't we? Because I've got Leicester in fourth, and you've got Coventry in fourth. So we're not too far away at all in terms of what we're thinking about these last three teams that we've spoken about. I think you've covered it with a lot of the points you made on Leicester. I'm not too. Sheffield Wednesday has got a difficult job on his hands, hasn't he? And he's unproven at the top of the table. I think it's all right being a firefighter to a degree and sort of pulling QPR away from trouble, which he did a really good job at. But this is going to be a huge job of controlling big egos, Premier League players. You've got to turn around the ship, haven't you, really, in terms of mentality and get them positive and firing, particularly if you can't get a lot of bodies out like you're talking about. So, really tricky job for Leicester, but I think they'll have the quality to outstrip most of the teams in this division, which obviously you agree with on the whole because of having them up in fifth. You think Coventry might just pip them though, pal?
Yeah, I think as long as their business is, I think it's prudent business. So they Kessler Hayden's a good acquisition. I think if they add one or two more and then they keep the team that they had last year, Redoni and the like, I think they've got a good chance of pushing for the promotion spots, because I think that they're a good side, and I think that if they can just even 10% more than last year, and they'll be right in.
I agree. Redoni, Kessler Hayden now added to the ranks. Adji Wright when he's on form, because I think he had sticky spells last season.
He had injuries, didn't he?
And Ellis Sims, I think, is a good option off the bench for him as well. Ben Sheaf, Bobby Thomas at the back. I think they've got a really good spine. I think they'll go well again this season under Frank Lampard, and he's got good connections as well. So I wouldn't expect me to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see some really strong loan signings come in for Cov as well. So, mate, crunch time. This confirms who we've got in the top three spots. So this confirms our automatic picks. Oh my God, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm sorry, Blades. I'm sorry. I've gone Blades in third, and I don't like it. You've gone Southampton. So let me explain myself. I think I need to at this stage. Look, there's always something at the back of my mind saying can't be biased. But I don't care about being biased, to be honest, because I am always biased towards my club. But I always want to try and be balanced. So if I look at the activity that we've done so far in the window as we record, we've got Tyler Binden in, we've got Louis Barry hopefully on his way. We've lost Vinny Souza. I don't know that we are going to do enough business to guarantee that we will finish in the top two. I think if we kicked off tomorrow with the season, we'd have a top six squad. I'm not convinced that we've got a top two squad, and you have just got to blindly hope, and it is blindly at the minute because nobody knows what's happening at the club, and that's good in a lot of ways. We've talked about this to death, to be honest, but I think United will finish third as the trajectory of the season is going at the moment. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's higher, but I think United will finish third. Why have you got Southampton in third, mate, rather than United?
Because I think it's a transition season for Southampton,
and not us.
Not as much, no. I think 7 or 8 of our 11 is already in play and has been before we've started.
They've got Cam Archer.
He's been garbage, mate, for everybody.
Wow, right.
He's been rubbish, I'm afraid.
End the stream right there.
Couldn't get a run, could he? For us,
it will this season.
Couldn't get a run for us at the end. Couldn't get a run for them at the end. You can whatever. I don't know. They've lost a few, haven't they? So they've lost Anuchu's the centre forward. Walker Peters, who's still a free agent, by the way.
We've no chance, mate. We've no chance.
Why?
Because we aren't. He's going to go to the Premier League. We've got to be realistic, haven't we? We're not going to offer him 60 bags, are we? He'll definitely be on that at Southampton. They'll have offered him a new deal, much more than we're willing to offer him.
If the player is proper player, what did he say, Ruben? Proper player.
Yeah. He is a proper player, but I don't think it's realistic.
He's a free agent, so you go, here you go, have this. This is the type of signing that would, I'd say, set some pulses racing, I'd say. But anyway, probably won't happen. But I think they've lost a few. There's a transition there. I think Diblin goes as well. Who's been a bit of a
If
talisman.
Diblin goes, they have got an absolute war chest then, haven't they? To have a go at the Championship.
It depends. Southampton are a very prudent club. They're not likely to go and start lobbing wedge around. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Obviously, I'd love to think that that Sheffield United can pip them. this season. I
Me
think
too.
it does depend a little bit on the business we do between now and the end of the thing, but I want to keep the faith of my club.
Good lad.
So I'm going to stick with Sheffield United in the top
So
two.
would you say it's slightly heart overhead then?
Not really. I think. Do I think Southampton are going to be a better team this year than Burnley were this year? No, I don't.
Don't you?
No. And I think we will be slightly better than we were last season. In
Okay.
fact, quite a bit looking at the early inklings of the of what we're seeing.
Very early.
I think we're a different. Yeah, I know, but I think we might be a different animal this year.
Okay. I hope you're right, mate. I absolutely hope you're right. So, yeah, I'll take yours over mine. Second in the table, flip reverse. I've gone Southampton and you've gone Blades. I think Southampton might just have a little bit too much. And it's a gnat's air and we are guessing, to be honest, at the minute because it's very early and there's not much in it already. But you think United are just going to have enough. And you've explained those reasons, I think, with the last pick. And that is obvious then as to who we've both got. Top of the table, it's Ipswich Town. Why are you saying Ipswich are the team that are going to finish top of the pile, pal?
I think their recruitment last season was a little bit of a telltale of a side that needed a lot of players. But I think it's the formula that the new owners want to move away from, and that is trying to cherry pick the best players in the Championship, which aren't cheap. Let's face it, they don't go for free. They don't get that 40, 50 million. You can't get that for a Championship player. But they did pay quite a lot of money for players from the top of the division. They went and got young players out of top Premier League sides and said, we'll give you the exposure. They've got 5 loans. They've got a big budget because I don't think they spent masses on their wage bill last season. So I think they've got a big budget for wages. I think there's still improvement in their side, and I think they're just going to have too much firepower for the rest of the division, in truth. So, yeah, I think that's why I've put them at the top.
I think you're right, mate. I think they're going to have a little bit too. The one thing I will caveat it with, though, is they have lost. Obviously, Liam Delap's the huge one. Swanzebi's gone, who is another good player for them. We talked about Cameron Burgess going. There's now rumours that they'll lose Amari Hutchinson, who's a very good player for them as well. There's talk of Sam Morsey leaving. So they are having some of the heart of their squad ripped out a little bit, and it's going to be a big ask for them to replace those. But they recruited in the Prem as if they were preparing for life in the Championship, didn't they? And they've got good players with Jacob Greaves and things like that. They padded the squad out really well, I think.
Clark from Sunderland, and they had
Jack Clark. I think will now step up to the fore, won't he, and be involved a little bit more now that they're in the Championship. So they will have a really good team. But
Smodics.
Yes, absolutely, Smodics as well. That's a good shout. So there's reason to believe that they'll go very, very well this year, but also just with the slight caveat that they are losing players as well. And Liam Delap for 30 million quid isn't his value. I think he's probably a higher rated player than that. They could have got a little bit more money had he not had that clause. Amari Hutchinson, they're not losing players for massive money. If Dibbling goes from Southampton, there were talk of it being 50 million quid, which is outrageous, by the way. But teams could have got Liam Delap and Amari Hutchinson for one Tyler Dibbling. So it's not really, Ipswich aren't getting the rewards that some of their players might or should be going for. So maybe it's not going to be as cut and dry. We've obviously independently got them as champions, so we both think they're going to have a very, very good season and likely win the league. But I don't think it's as cut and dry as people are saying. So wouldn't surprise me at all if those odds fluctuate a little bit on whatever betting sites they're on and stuff. And we'll have to see how the transfer window pans out. But at this stage, this early stage of the window, I think it's fair to say that they're favourites. So, mate, how do you feel about your table?
Oh, the Blades are up, aren't they? And that's the
Blades are up. I've got them up through playoffs.
Wednesday are out.
We're gonna kill off our Wembley hoodoo in my table as well. So don't worry about that. We're still going up, Blades. But it's who's going up at your playoff pack then? I've got Blades, obviously.
Oh, let me think. Don't know. How do
I
know?
Come on, pick a playoff team. Pick a playoff team.
Leicester
are going to go up through playoffs for you. Okay, terrible shout. But okay, right. These are our picks for our teams. We've given you a little bit. We've sort of well, I've certainly backtracked. Maybe a little bit on Borough, maybe a bit too high. Maybe Millwall a little bit too low. But we have done these quite quickly. And I think we justified them okay, mate, to be fair. So thank you for joining us on this edition of Two Mardy Blades. Get your comments in down below as to where you think we've gone wrong, who you think's got the more accurate table, and more importantly, what your tables are going to be. So you can do your 1 to 24s in the comments if you want. And we'll catch up with you very soon. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards!
Up the Sayers Blades.
Yeah.
Shout out.